big stories in Cartersville. Channel 2 Action News.
Breaking news at noon, a fire at a Rockdale County chemical plant forces more than a dozen roads shut down. We are live in Conyers with how deputies are working to keep families safe.
Live, local, late breaking. This is Channel 2 Action News at noon. Coverage you can count on.
Welcome to Channel 2 Action News on your Sunday afternoon. I'm Sophia Choi. Let's get straight to some breaking news. Evacuations are underway in Rockdale County after a fire broke out at a chemical plant. The fire happened at the Biolab facility on Old Covington Highway. Channel 2.
Breaking news on WSB tonight.
And close your windows and doors.
All of Rockdale County is being told to shelter in place after a massive fire that broke out at a chemical plant.
So we want to keep everyone safe and away from it as much as we can.
We have live Team 2 coverage from Rockdale County where 17,000 people have been evacuated as officials stress to the public that they need to take this seriously. On WSB Tonight.
And thank you for joining us on WSB Tonight. I'm Candace McCowan. We begin with a major chemical plant fire in Rockdale County. Here's what's new happening now and next. All of Rockdale County is now being told to shelter in place at least until midnight. That's after a fire broke out at the Biolab chemical plant.
From Fox 5, News Edge at 11 starts now.
Residents in Rockdale County are being told to stay inside, and many of them had to pack up and leave their homes after a fire at a chemical plant. This isn't a new experience for the people there in the county. 4 years ago, there was a chemical fire at the exact same plant that prompted road closures. Good Sunday evening. Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 5 News Edge at 11. I'm Eric Perry.
This morning we've had a few rain showers, but our region begins to recover. Looking live right now from Abingdon as David tracks the forecast for the week right now on News 5 Today.
From WCYB, this is News 5 Today.
Welcome to News 5 WCYB Today. I'm Preston Ayers. It's straight up and down 6 o'clock here on this Monday morning as our region continues to rebuild and recover in what is going to be a very long process after the flooding of Friday. Over the weekend, I spent the time with several flood victims. This is Washington County, Tennessee. I want you to look at just how much damage there is here in the Emeryville community. It's almost hard to comprehend, but beyond this community are two others that were completely cut off by the floodwaters. But we were there as a Black Hawk helicopter rescued the first group. Take a look.
Keeping you informed, prepared, and connected. You're watching 10 Tampa Bay.
Right now, groups are helping as families clean up and dry out from Hurricane Helene. I'm Courtney Robinson.
I'm Frank Wiley. I want to show you those recovery efforts in just a moment, but I want to show you this right here because within the last 30 minutes or so, all southbound lanes on the Skyway Bridge that you're looking at.
The water supply now drying up into East Tennessee counties after their water plants were damaged in the flooding. This is a situation that could get worse before it gets better. Plus, catastrophic flood damage in the mountains of western North Carolina, where at least 35 people have died. Some people there are living with just 1 day's worth of food and water. And supporting flood victims can be just a few computer clicks away. We'll find out how to team up with the Salvation Army, this to help our struggling neighbors.
WVLT News begins now with breaking news.
Thanks for being with us today for WVLT News at 3:30. I'm Brittany Tarwater. We now know the identities of the two people killed in the Cocke County flooding. Sheriff C.J. Ball says they are Jean and Mike Obrist. We are working to learn more about the couple, but right now, all of the people who are missing in Cocke County are accounted for. But another crisis is ahead. The water is being turned off in the county because equipment used to pull water from the river into the water system is damaged by the flooding. Cocke County's mayor says he can't even estimate when these repairs will be completed and when the water will be turned back on. And there is no estimate for when students can go back to school. People can pick up water from a distribution center at the old Walmart Center on West Broadway. 7 churches are distributing food and other necessities. We have all of those details, the list, inside the WVLT News app.
Now at 4, the road to recovery
Just beginning across parts of the Carolinas, hundreds of thousands still in the dark at this hour. Crews are working around the clock to turn the power back on. But for some, there is no home to go back to. Entire communities washed away. Families nationwide trying to reach loved ones to no avail. Tonight, we're tracking the latest on the recovery efforts and how you can help our neighbors in need. Thanks for joining us here at 4. I'm Jane Monreal. Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich and Megan Bragg are standing by with your weather and traffic.
First look at 4, cleaning up and pitching out. Families sift through the storm damage to see what's left.
Plus, a restaurant that serves up spaghetti with a little side of nostalgia gets some new owners. What this means for the menu.
And we are keeping an eye on construction delays and other road problems throughout our region. We'll let you know if there's an alternate route you need to take in First Solar traffic.
And on and off showers have developed across the area. This will be common not just today, but also for the day tomorrow. And then we've got changes on the way. We'll talk about it on First Look at 4. That starts now.
This is WSAC First Look at 4.
Good afternoon. I'm Susan Nicholas.
And I'm Tim Ear. Thanks for joining us today on First Look at 4. From damaging winds to devastating floods, a lot of people in our area beginning the cleanup process from those storms over the weekend on Friday.
It looks like it's going to be a long one, too.
Yeah.
Scioto County, Ohio, one of the areas seen hit the hardest. WSAC's Marley Pinchak joins us now live from High Street, right there in Portsmouth.
Live, local, breaking news. This is WIFF News 4 at 5.
Storm-related deaths rising in the Carolinas as hard-hit communities start the recovery process after Hurricane Helene.
We have people from at least 20 states and Canada on the ground right now in the Western Carolinas and the upstate.
All hands on deck to get the power back on for thousands still in the dark this evening. A live report on the progress.
And after a devastating last couple of days, brighter days are ahead. I'll have a closer look coming up.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, millions of people across the southeast are still without power, water, fuel, and food.
And the death toll continues to climb, the storm claiming the lives of at least 121 people, with most reported in western North Carolina.
Sky 4 video now showing the damage left behind in Rutherford and Buncombe counties. During a news conference today, Buncombe County leaders urged people who want to help in the recovery efforts to not risk going into affected areas.
Now at 6.
We continue our coverage of Helene's aftermath. We are in Adrian today. We're going to show you how bad it is. And just to give you an idea, some people are sleeping in tents outside right now.
This will help us get money flowing quicker to our state.
Governor Kemp and leaders requesting immediate assistance to help Georgia recover. We share which central Georgia counties leaders hope to send more resources to. And Helene toppled more than 40 trees on one Wheeler County home.
I don't believe this. And you're not going to find this kind of damage, I don't believe.
We'll show you the damage left behind for one 96-year-old to clean up. 13W, MAZ News at 6, starts now.
We have had 25 known fatalities in the state of Georgia at this point. There's media reports of 90 to 100 total for this storm among all the states where it was so hard hit.
Governor Kemp giving an update today on Helene's impact as the state continues to recover. Now, the governor said Helene spared no one and some small towns were hit hard. Without big city budgets, they're struggling to pay for repairs. Solene Arif takes us to one of those towns, Adrian, in Emmanuel and Johnson counties.
Virginia's news leader, WVLT WVVA News at 5 starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WVVA News at 5. It's an abbreviated edition as the two Virginias continues to struggle with huge widespread power outages following the remnants of Hurricane Helene rolling through our region. Right now, tens of thousands of people remain in the dark. In fact, the TV station only got our power back late this afternoon. We are still waiting for some of our systems to come back online. That includes video. As soon as they do, we will be able to show you some of the devastation that's been left by the storm, and it is now officially a killer storm here in the two Virginias. A person has lost their life. We'll tell you more about that in just a moment. But we want to begin with the numbers straight from American Electric Power. At the height of this storm, when Helene rolled through on Friday, it left more than 280,000 customers in the dark without any electricity. You have to keep in mind, we're talking customers, so that's households. That doesn't include people. It's probably a fair estimate to say it's affecting more than 1 million people in the two Virginias right now.
The natural disaster in western North Carolina is growing tonight. Towns are cut off, dozens are dead or missing, and the destruction remains.
Hundreds of thousands are still in the dark. Duke Energy says power might not be restored for several days, possibly even longer in the hardest hit areas.
And the number of people who have died across our country has reached the triple digits. At least 116 people in 6 states were killed. Although we've heard conflicting numbers, the governor's office just confirmed 34 North Carolinians have died, most in Buncombe County, where countless people are still missing.
Rescue and recovery teams from across the country, as well as federal officials, they are in western North Carolina right now, where the magnitude of the destruction is still being assessed.
WXII 12 News at 5 starts right now.
The impact of Helene. This is an unprecedented storm, and it's causing us to have an unprecedented response.
From drying out to cleaning up, the massive effort underway right now in the mountains and the Piedmont.
The rain isn't over yet. Storms are moving through tonight. The impact this could have on the hard-hit areas and the triad.
I'll be there with you as long as it takes.
From the president to FEMA, I'm Christopher Salas with the urgent action taking place in Washington to help those in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene.
And North Carolina remains in a state of emergency tonight as the full impacts of Helene can now be seen.
According to the governor's office, there have been 34 storm-related deaths in North Carolina.
42 people were critically injured. Sadly, this includes 4 infants.
A retired Volusia County deputy is one of the more than 100 people killed as a result of Hurricane Helene. How former colleagues are remembering him tonight.
And West 2 is taking a deeper look into the impact Helene may have on our homeowner insurance policies.
Local, live, late breaking. West 2 News starts now.
It's really horrifying. It's sad because there's still people there that are really hard to get to.
Communities are completely cut off from life-sustaining supplies and medical care after the devastation left behind from Hurricane Helene. Thank you for joining us. I'm Summer Knowles.
And I'm Michelle Imparato. We will have more on the impacts in just a moment. But first, Hurricane Helene may be gone, but the tropics are still very active tonight. First Warning Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi is here with us to look at some systems that we're tracking. Tony.